Welcome back. Today we discuss about the energy in magnetic fields. Okay. The back EMF that we saw in the last class, and whenever current through a circuit changes, a back EMF will be induced in the circuit, and that opposes that change in current. It is the back EMF. Okay. So due to this back EMF, work must be done against this back EMF to get the current going. That is, if we switch on circuit and the current starts to flow through the circuit, now at the same time back EMF will be developed. So we must do a certain amount of work must be done, or energy is required to start a current flowing in a circuit. Okay, that work must be done against the back EMF. Okay, and this is a fixed amount and it is recoverable, because when we get it back when the current or the switch when we switch off the circuit, when the current is turned off. Okay, then also a back EMF will be developed. Okay, we will get back that. Now, back EMF is there in a circuit. Okay, when the current starts to grow or when the current starts to decrease. So we are calculating this work that must be done against the back EMF. Work done on a unit charge against the back EMF in one trip around the circuit, that is called okay, so that is the work done on a unit positive charge against the back EMF in one round trip around the circuit, that is equal to minus epsilon. Okay, why this minus sign? It records the fact that this is work done against the back EMF. We are doing work against the back EMF. So on one unit, one Coulomb charge or on the unit charge, the work done is given by minus epsilon. Remember that epsilon is actually a kind of potential difference. EMF is actually potential difference developed. Voltage developed. Voltage is actually equal to the work done. So minus epsilon is work done on a unit charge against the back EMF. Now the current the amount of charge per unit time passing down a wire, that is I. Okay, because I is the current. I is the current. So the work done, the amount of charge per unit time passing down a wire is I. Okay, because we know current is equal to charge over time. Okay, current is charge over time. So I amount of charge flow through the circuit in unit time. Okay, so the work done per unit time. So the work done per unit time, that is given by dW by dt equal to minus epsilon I. Okay, because I amount of charge is flowing in unit time. So dW by dt, that is equal to minus epsilon I. So that is equal to, for epsilon we know that this is equal to minus L di by dt that we saw in the last class. Okay, the EMF induced due to self-induction is minus L di by dt, where L is the self-inductance. So that will be equal to the minus of minus L di by dt I, that is equal to L di by dt I. So the minus the dW by dt, the work done per unit time, that is equal to L di by dt into I. Okay. When a current at a particular instant, when I current is flowing, this is the work done per unit time against the back EMF. Now, suppose we start with the zero current. We start with the zero current and build it up to a final value I. So, we are increasing current from 0 to I. Okay. Then the work done, we are actually calculating the total work done, that is given by, total work done is this, W equal to integral dW L integral 0 to I. Here dW dt is here, L di by dt I, this dt I can cancel. So on the right hand side I will have L I di. So as I integrate, I will get the total work done as equal to half L I square. Okay. So the total work done against the back EMF is now given by W equal to half L I square, and we see it depends on L and I. L is the inductance. It depends on the geometry of the circuit, geometry of the loop, and I is the final current. Okay, and it does not depend on how long we take to increase the current from 0 to I. Okay, it does not depend what time it takes for the current to grow from 0 to I. It depends only on the final current. Okay, so we can also so this is the expression for the work done. Now we express the energy stored in terms of surface and volume currents. Okay, we are expressing the energy stored in terms of surface and volume currents. Phi, we know that is flux, that is equal to integral surface B dot ds. Okay, that is equal to integral surface del cross A dot ds. That is equal to, okay, we are writing this V as the curl of the vector potential. That's how we get del cross A here. And this is a surface integral. A surface integral can be converted into a line integral. We are converting it into line integral. Okay. So we have this integral P A dot dl. So this is actually a line integral. And here P is the perimeter of the loop, and S is the surface bounded by the perimeter. So we know this conversion. This is the basic definition of flux, and we write B in terms of vector potential, and we get this relation. Phi equal to integral A dot dl. Okay. Now phi equal to Li, that we know, this definition we know, phi equal to Li. Okay, that we know, and that is also phi is also given by integral A dot dl, so that we substitute. So we have the work done as equal to work done is actually half Li square. So for Li, I am giving this integral A dot dl. So W equal to half I integral A dot dl. So this is half. I am taking this A here. Okay, because we are carrying out the line integral integration in the direction of the current. So I can take I inside here and write it in vector notation, and dl now just becomes a scalar thing. So this is the work done, half of integral of A I dot dl. Okay. Now we generalize this expression for the volume current. Okay. This is for some linear current like this. We are writing this in them for the Boolean currents. So W is equal to half integral volume A dot J d tau. Okay, that we are writing. Then, so from this expression, I got this equation A. Now we are expressing W in terms of magnetic field. Here we does not see magnetic field here. So we use the Ampere's law. What is it? Cross B equal to mu 0 J. This is the Ampere's law. So for J, I can write what? Del cross B by mu 0. So J will be, that will be equal to del cross B over mu 0. Okay, so that I am substituting here for J. Here in this expression for J, I am giving del cross B over mu 0. So what we get? We get this W equal to 1 by 2 mu 0 A dot del cross B d tau, and we have an identity here. Del cross B equal to, del dot A cross B equal to B dot del cross A minus A dot del cross B. So A dot del cross B will be equal to B dot del cross A minus del dot A cross B. Okay, so we are having an identity here. Okay, now del cross A is B. A is the vector potential. A is the vector potential. Del cross A is B. So we have B dot B minus del dot A cross B. Okay. And B dot B is B square. So this we are substituting for this A dot del cross B. I am giving this. Okay. I am giving this. A dot del cross B. I am giving this. So W equal to 1 by 2 mu B dot B is B square. B dot B is B square minus del dot A cross B d tau. So this is 1 by 2 mu 0 B square d tau minus del dot A cross B d tau. So this is 1 by 2 mu 0 integral volume. Okay, integral volume. Here also we had this volume. Okay, volume, integral volume, del dot A cross B d tau. Now, since we have this divergence here, del dot A cross B, I am converting this into surface integral. So volume integral is converted into surface integral here. So integral surface A cross B dot dA. Okay. Integral surface, a closed surface. S is the surface bounding the volume. Okay. So this is the work done. Work done, that is equal to 1 by 2 mu 0 integral volume B square d tau. This is surface integral. Okay. Here the integration, here we started from this expression W equal to half integral volume A dot J d tau. Here integration is carried out the entire volume occupied by the current. Okay. So that this integration here also is the entire volume occupied by the current. But we can take any region larger than this. Okay. So actually we can take a region larger than this. The thing is where current density is, there J will be non-zero, and for other regions J will be 0. So you will be getting the same result. Okay. What I want to tell you here is this volume that you can integrate over the volume where the current density is there. Or you can take a larger volume. The only thing is when you integrate over that larger volume, you will have value only for the regions where the current density is there or current is flowing. For other regions, J will be equal to 0. So we will be getting exactly the same result. So if you take a larger volume here, what happens is this term will grow. You are taking integral volume B square will grow, magnetic field in larger volume that you are taking, but this will decrease because we are taking the surface enclosing that volume here. There A and B that will decrease as the volume increases, because the surface will be away from the current density. So this term will decrease. So if you take larger and larger volume, this term will increase, this will increase. Okay, the increase here. This one increases, but this one decreases. Okay, because here you are taking volume integral, entire volume, but here you are taking only the surface integral. So you take larger volume, the surface recedes away, goes farther away from the current. So there the vector potential and magnetic field will decrease. So this term will decrease. Okay. So what happens is you will have only this term remaining. This term will become 0 if you are taking all space. If you are taking all space. So that is written here. If you agree to integrate our all space, okay, we are taking all space, then surface integral goes to 0 and we will have the volume integral. This is volume integral. Integration is our all space. So W equal to all space B square by 2 mu 0 d tau, and using this result we can say here we have the volume, d tau is volume, and we are integrating over the entire volume. So B square by 2 mu 0 is the energy per unit volume in the magnetic field. Okay, we are multiplying B square by 2 mu 0 with volume, d tau is volume. So B square by 2 mu 0 into d tau, that is the energy stored in the field, that is energy stored per unit volume. So B square by 2 mu 0 is the energy stored per unit volume. Okay, now if we compare this equation, the equation that we got here, that you can compare with the equation for electrostatic energy that we studied in the last lesson. We compare with it. Okay, so as we compare, you will see for electrostatic case, the energy stored, that is given by epsilon 0 by 2 integral E square d tau. For magnetic field, we have got 1 by 2 mu 0 B square d tau. So these two are similar expressions. Here we had epsilon 0, here we had 1 by mu 0. Okay, so we are getting similar expressions for energy stored in the electrostatic field and the magnetic field.